Port Arizona, it's Jeff doesn't want to get sleepy driving home. That's it. Let's see. Would you like to swing on a stock? A carry moon means home in a jar. And be better rough than you are. I would you rather be a mule? A mule? A mule is an animal with long funny ears. He kicks up at anything he is. His back is brawny and his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak. And by the way, if you hate to go to school, you might grow up to be a mule. Oh, would you like to swing a star? Gary will keep pumping a jar and be better off than you are. Or would you rather be a pig? Pig. That's not what you can't say pig. Another pig. Pig is an animal built on his face. Shoes are a terrible disgrace. He ain't got no man when he eats his food. He's fat and lazy and extremely rude. And if you don't care if I were a fig, you might grow up to be a pig. Or would you like to swing a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a fish? A fish don't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. And the food of people is his only thought. And though we slip, we still get caught. And if that sort of life's what you wish, you might grow up to be a fish. And all the monkeys are in the zoo. Every day I meet quite a few. So you see, it's all up to you. You could be better than you are. You could be swinging on a star. Yay! Bing Crosby used to beat the shit out of his kids and then sing them that song. Yeah, he was like Daddy Dearest. Apparently, he was a fucking tyrant. Like, brutalized them, like screaming at them, like one of those family situations, from your neighbor across the street when you're growing up. Like, not anybody now. Now that person would either be dead of a heart attack, or he would have fallen asleep, or he would have died in his sleep. One of those kind of things. I don't know. My dad died in his sleep. Why was he bleeding from his ears? We don't know. But back then, you just hope that he smoked long enough, that drank hard enough that one of his organs would give out. Good times the 70s were, yeah. I liked it. 70s was good. Everybody knew, like, say, so and so's dad, He, he beats the crap out of them. Always made it seem like your family was rational, you know. I miss that about, like, 70s and 80s. It was like, street lights come on, everybody knows it's time to get home because they're not stupid, because they don't want your mom to come out. Your mom's got to yell for you once, you're in trouble twice. You're getting a wooden spoon to the backside. Three times, and someone was going to die. Like, you didn't go for free. You saw the street lights. Didn't you see the street lights? Everybody sees the street lights. They come on at the same time. Yeah, you didn't mess with those. But then there'd be like a kid down the street, and you could tell because like nobody told him the street lights were on because you wanted to see him get beaten because you know it was going to be terrific, right? Oh, kids are sadistic. Hey, street lights are on. Should we tell Corey? No. No. Let him keep looking at the dirty mags. It's fine. No biggie. No, no, but you know, his dad, he's a dentist. Like you knew that was bad news. Like dentists are always stressed out. One of the highest suicide rates of any profession. You know why? Because you got into a profession where every time someone comes to see you, it's a miserable fucking experience and it costs a lot of money that they don't have. So I'm just saying, have some dental insurance for God's sake. Why everybody show up and everything costs $1,200 to introduce me? I know you have to like make an appointment, show up, go on time, stuff like that. I know you're not supposed to wait until you need a root planning and scaling done. Like, look, we're gonna have to do 4 episodes because you're gonna bleed so much. and your infected gums that we don't have enough people to triage that mess. You're like, what? But you're not supposed to chew gum and have your teeth bleed? I thought that was normal. I don't know. I mean, I bought a electric toothbrush. Doesn't that mean I shouldn't have bleeding gums? Oh, you got to use it? That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Nobody told me to turn it on, put it in your mouth. I thought it was very clear. Oh. So, anyways, street lights go on, and you're like, hey, we got to get home, got to get home. Like, yeah, don't tell Corey. His dad is always angry. And his dad gets home on time every day because they're dentists. They're not taking walk-ins at 4:59. You know, if you're not checked in at 4:15 for a minor procedure, then, you know, get out. We're closed at 5. You're like the only person in the fucking dentist office, and they flash the lights on you. You ever have that happen? Like, who's that for? We're in an office with drop ceilings. Clink, 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 like this. Last call. You can't. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. Corey's dad used to whoop some ass because people hate him. All right, Dad. He's a bleeding up his really. Hey, you got into the job. What did I tell you? So yeah, invariably everyone's sneaking away to get to dinner before you know, somebody's mom, somebody's dad, you know, acts more dramatically than Corey's dad is going to be when he finds out. He looks up when it's 6 o'clock. Dad's been home for half an hour. Dinner's cold because they're all waiting for Corey. There's a family of 7. And Corey's dad's not even a real dad; he's a stepdad. Real dad ran out like years ago. Years ago. So Corey's dad has been stepdad. You know, he always knew it wasn't his kid, right? So it was hit him a little harder than the other ones. I'm just saying. The '80s were cool, right? Yeah, good times. So you're off in your own house. You're eating dinner, something delicious and nutritious, you know, like '81 style, like fried liver and creamed potatoes and onions. Yeah, maybe throw some like canned peas on there. Yeah, that's American disgusting a la mode shit. Huh. Who made that? Who? Come on. What mom took canned peas? The canned peas will make you throw up if you just smell it. Oh God, stomach upset. Ugh. And then you take like this freaking uh, this organ meat that smells like organs and like a sack of wet nickels, and then you take that, fry it, and this kid, I'm gonna take some potatoes. I'm gonna make a roux with flour and milk, a little bit of salt, and we're gonna call that green potatoes because there's a reason why the greatest generation fucking got up early. Because they ate shit like that every night. Fried something with potatoes with fucking with a roux sauce, wheat, margarine. Okay, it wasn't even butter. Wheat, margarine, and milk. Then they put that on top of the potatoes. And you're like, damn, that's your veg. Or you got, you know, canned peas. My mom, her that generation, the baby boomers, they still brought that disgusting fare into in the mainstream. I was like, no, this is good. It's what I ate growing up. Yeah, okay. There's a reason though. You don't live in a trailer anymore. You live in a track house. Maybe we can eat track house fare. I'm saying, you know what I mean? You don't have to shop in this single wide section anymore. Creamed potatoes, liver. You can have steak. Your husband's got a good job. We live in Santee. Ugh. Quit eating like you live in Kansas during the Dust Bowl. Do we have any protein left? Well, Ma, I got this liver. Well, I'd rather eat shoe leather. Well, we're gonna have livers, delicious. Good. Anyway, it'd be like 6 o'clock. Everyone's finishing trying to gag down the cold liver. His mom's like, "You're not getting up from this fucking table or your plate." Like as if crying is going to help you swallow the coagulated cream potatoes and liver. You would think that, like the pre-vomit stage when your throat starts to get lubricated because you're salivating, that pre-stage, like if you don't actually throw up, you think you would be able to just reverse it, suck down that cold, disgusting food. But strangely, even though you got the, um, you know, you got your throat all coated and ready to go, you try and gag the liver down, and it just stops. Like it's amazing. Your brain is amazing. How it prevents you from ingesting things that will kill you, right? Like if we didn't learn how to overcome that urge, like oral would just like be so much worse. But it's amazing what you can swallow if you're hungry enough. So 6 o'clock comes, and you're trying to gag it down, you're crying, you're gonna get spanked, but then you hear Corey. Oh my God, guys, the lights are on. When are the lights come on? And everybody's giggling. uh, uh, because they know it's been a half hour since Dr. Taylor got home, and he's already like, I don't know, a quarter of a bottle of Doers into his evening. He's got that holdover porn mustache still, right? It's like early 1980s. The dads were still rocking that porn stash. They thought if we get rid of the leisure suits, then we won't look like tools. But we got to keep our mustaches, right? And like, listen, John Holmes, this shit wasn't really cool when he did it, Village people. But they rocked it. So there's his dad, chain smoking his Pall Malls. Dinner's cold. They didn't have liver. He was a dentist. They had dentist money. At least for that day and age. I mean, he married a woman with 4 kids, so he obviously wasn't particularly bright. Had no game with a small pecker, but at least they had one anchor baby between them. So they would have been well off had he not married into that train wreck. Corey, you probably wouldn't have wound up in prison had he learned to tell time, uh, be a duck, or and now he was with it. I don't want to say. It's a survival game, guys. It's survival. If it doesn't matter how much you suck when you think about it. To me, it doesn't suck. It's just a product of its time. Spare the rod, spoil the child, beat the child, and wonder why they make nothing of their life, make nothing of their life, right? It's not true. I got whooped when I needed to be. I turned out perfectly. Yeah, fuck you. Sorry. All right. Oh yeah. So guys, Dr. Taylor. He's in the garage. The garage has been converted from a track house that was built in 1978 garage, which is like, for the most part, a semi-open drop faux attic thing in the garage, where you store your Christmas tree and where you hide out when you find stuff you want to look at that you don't want to get caught. And then the rafters, the rafters, you get the rafters. And then so he's got exposed rafters, drywall, and he threw down an old shag carpet a la 1977. Looks like it's supposed to look like grass, like, because apparently in the 60s and 70s the natural colors were popular. You had like avocado green, You had grandma had you had salmon. Can you imagine buying? What else in the history of convenience and consumerism did we have items that were made into pastel colors? Like baby shit yellow, uh, avocado green. And it wasn't. Maybe it was avocado. It looked like baby shit too. Uh, and then that salmon color. I think only in the 80s. I think it revised when Southwest style became popular. But otherwise, you weren't finding fridges and ranges and sinks made out of pastel colors. I think that was it. If I'm wrong, let me know. I'm literally thinking mid late 60s, 70s, and then Southwest resurgence from 80 to 95, 85 to 95. I know I bought a house that had green carpet and pink and green uh, uh, ceiling fans with chili pepper pools on it. I bought the house because it was deck. I moved to the Southwest. I bought a shitty techno style house. Great. But he's chain smoking and he's drunk and he's listening to the Mighty 690 on the radio. Mighty 690 AM 690 San Diego, California. It's 6 p.m. Next on news. Steve Garvey joins the Padres. Dan Fouts throws for his second highest season. And Don Coryell can suck my ass. Anyway, that was Sports Update, 1983, San Diego. He's smoking. Corey's coming down the street. Oh man, I was being trouble. His dad lights like the fifth cigarette, pours another 3 fingers of his mediocre at best scotch. I wouldn't do that shit. If yours, gross. Glenfiddich, gross. Sorry, Glenlivet, gross. If you buy it at a supermarket, the scotch probably sucks, guys. I mean, maybe not so much these days. You can get some decent ones, but single malt, Lowland, maybe a Alcatoshan or something like that. If you're not pulling a single malt, don't get a blend at the grocery stores and stuff. It's just garbage, and that's including Johnny Walker. If you're not buying gold or above, don't go there. Don't waste your time as much. So yeah, it's flipping through the oh, that's a lawbreaker right there. That's flipping through the radio station right now. That's good. As per usual, the Padres and the Chargers, although they're coming up to their best year ever, Ray Kroc owns them, the guy who bought McDonald's from McDonald Brothers, 1956. Ray Kroc, billionaire. This was a golden year, guys. Golden years when the Padres and the Chargers were pretty good. And after that, it was all over. So he flipped off sports, and Corey Flynn and Dr. Taylor. Corey! Street lights on? Yes, sir. You get your ass inside. You're like, oh. You can hear everyone's quiet. Even the crickets stop. The sprinklers that came on, they stop. You're just like, oh, that's gonna get killed. Like then his sister Amy comes out. Now Amy, she's like local town prostitute, but she does didn't charge money. She's just a slut, apparently, according to Corey. And his brother, she'll fuck anybody, for $5 or a set. So I went and got 5 cassette tapes, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. I got Pat Benatar, What's she like? My sister's got cassette tapes. Now your sister's gonna have some. I'm gonna get some. Very excited. I miss the Taylors. Too bad they don't. Yeah. So, where am I? Am I still heading south? I don't know. This is a way better road. I've been on the road since 1:30 a.m. No, 1:30 p.m. No, yes, p.m. It feels like it's been a hot minute. I slept for the first quarter of the trip. I don't remember anything. I just remember having this realization that I'm struggling to keep the car on the road, and yet I remember I did not set the cruise control on purpose. But I figured if I did black out, use my foot with pump gas, and then that would probably alert me. And it worked, like 100 miles. That was pretty good. Why do they say that divorced men die at a higher frequency than married? Because there's no one there to yell at you to fucking pay attention. So anyway, ooh, speed limit 75 on this car. It says. So Dr. Taylor, he pulls back his fifth 3 fingers of shitty scotch. Yours, white label. Goes in, you see it snuff out that 7th Pall Mall in 30 minutes. Wonder why they died young. And Corey's whimpering because he knows he's going to get it. Because that delicious beef stroganoff, hamburger helper, and hamburger buns with margarine and garlic salt. You know, because it's Tuesday, gourmet day at home. That's that garlic bread and stroganoff been sitting there for a half hour waiting. We don't eat until everyone's at the table, Dr. Taylor says. Amy pops out, hot Amy, right? For her cassette tapes. She's a dirty, dirty girl. And you hear her flip the radio station over. And you hear that you're from Southern California. You hear, what you say? De Baja California, Mexico. Like, yeah, 91X, baby. 91X. This is the flagship station for Southern California. 91X. It's located in Tijuana, Mexico. Towers are located in Tijuana. Studios are located in Tijuana legally because as it is actually not owned by Mexico, the geniuses who owned Mighty 690 and 91X knew that they would not be regulated by the Federal Communications Commission on how much wattage they can put out. Now, they learned this from the flagship station in Austin, where Wolfman Jack broadcasted AM 100,000 watts. Okay, 100,000 watts amplitude modulation AM. That means that signal is like standing in front of a microwave with a busted door with your dick in your hands and hoping it doesn't burn. You ever walk in front of a microwave that keeps going off with the door open? You can feel it. It's not comfortable. I know because I tried it 3 times at work. Someone said, "Hey, you know that microwave you brought us?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "I think it's on the fritz." I said, "What's wrong with it?" He said, "The door won't close, and then all of a sudden the fan turns on." I said, "Oh, you should probably throw it away." Like, "Will you come check it?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." I walk in, and sure enough, I'm just standing there. The door's open on the microwave. He goes, "Whoa!" And I was like, "Oh, Jesus! What is wrong with you guys?" They're like, "Did you feel something?" I said, "Literally, my testicles started to cook. That was so uncomfortable." And then there's some dipshit meathead comes over. His name is Ryan. He goes, "Yeah, dude, I kept pushing the button like this." And he pushes it. And he goes, yeah, dude. They're like, makes my nuts tingle. I'm like, "Yeah, you're not planning on having kids, are you there, steroid boy?" He's like, "What? No, I hope not. I got too many chicks across town." I was like, "Yeah, just stand there for another 5 minutes. Should be good. Cook them. Cook them." Yeah, he's like, "Hey, hey, Eric, you want to try out the microwave? Please go throw in the dumpster again. Jesus Christ. So, um, Wolfman Jack, 100,000 watts. AM means amplitude. The signal bounces from the tower into the atmosphere, and it goes as high as the ionosphere is. So if you guys remember back, you took classes that you didn't pay attention to in college that you didn't attend. Um, the ionosphere is an electrical grid that is around the Earth, and it's made up of ions, and then ions are electrical charges that are interlaced. So this AM signal, amplitude modulation, is a radio frequency signal at whatever megahertz is listed, 690 megahertz. That's your frequency. And then your wattage is how much potential you put behind it. They take that electrical signal and they bounce it all the way up and trying to get into outer space, but it doesn't get into outer space because it's stopped by the ions and it's pushed back down. So that signal goes up at 100,000 watts and it hits the ionosphere and then it bounces back down and it hits the ground and it goes back up. And now it does this thing called signal bounce. There's a reason why this stuff has to be regulated. If you're pumping out 100,000 watts of AM 690 megahertz radio frequency, and it's daytime, during the daytime, the ionosphere gets pulled towards the sun. So the magnetic pull of the sun actually attracts the ions, and it pulls the ions away from the Earth. So during the daytime, the ionosphere is actually much taller. So you're going to have more signal degradation as that AM channel goes up. You actually have to have more power during the day because the ionosphere is further away. So if it has to travel further, the signal degrades. By the time it gets there, it's going to minimize how much power it has behind it. So then it's only going to bounce for a certain amount of, geographical miles before that signal dissipates. It's just like any energy that can neither be created nor destroyed. It only changes form. The process causes it to change its form. As it goes. And then it turns into love and butterflies. So if you're unregulated and you're not within the confines of the U.S., you're not regulated by the FCC, then you can put as much signal as you want at any time of day, and technically they can't do shit about it because, well, we don't have any jurisdiction in foreign countries for things like federal communications, or for communication, rather. So the smart people who bought these stations, collected them in Mexico, were able to take people like Wolfman Jack, who at night the ionosphere is very close to the Earth because it's being pulled the opposite direction where the sun is. That's why it's dark here, because the sun's on the other side. So when that ionosphere is closer to the Earth, if you don't turn your power down, you're going to get on the fucking globe, or at least until it gets halfway across the other side, and then it has to go too high. So Wolfman Jack can't find it because you turn on your transistor radio anywhere and actually are we losing my signal there? That's right. We'll keep trying. So I think I'm back. So Wolfman Jack AM. So San Diego, our pirate radio was the mighty 690 and California, Mexico. My 91X. They pumped out a higher signal than everybody else, which meant if you don't have to follow the laws, then your signal can overpower the other signals around you, and you can be a douchebag, and you can have the most easy to capture radio signal in the area, and nobody else can compete. Because if you get anywhere within 2 megahertz, 2 kilohertz of that signal, you're going to pick it up. You don't have to be right on the 91 to pick it up, right? They were genius. So I hear Amy go out in the garage. Now we're going to wrap up the story. Amy goes out in the garage and she just takes it off. Like, puts it on 91 Hall and Oates, rich girl. She's a rich girl, and she's got to, and you know it don't matter anyway. Hall and Oates, they were a sexy duo, holdover from the 1970s, probably 1960s as a matter of fact. John Oates had the long blonde hair, kind of picturesque, like a Fabio type guy. He's very cute. Pre-thrash metal, pre-hairband, and he had that sort of long blonde hair. And then because studio musicians were hired based on their musicality and their talent and not their looks, Daryl Hall looked like Bucky the Beaver, uh, I don't know, with a Jufro and a porn stash to try to cover up what could only be like the worst overbite with a probably moderate cleft palate to go with it. But um, yeah, this guy short, he had long curly perm hair, must be perm. And then, but here's the thing: great musician, great singer. I think it would have just been the Daryl Hall band. It probably was in the '60s and mid '70s. Then they realized like they were making videos, even long form videos. Uh, if you had to show up on American Bandstand, American Top 40, you better have a frontman that was worth looking at. So that's how Hall and Oates was formed. I don't think John Oates was particularly talented. I don't think he even played the instrument as far as I can tell. But he got a lot of pussy and made a lot of money. All on the backs of every guy with talent. Isn't that how it works? So Amy turns on, oh shoot, so hard to do that. Amy turns on, aquí se lleve a California. Oh, in the United States, number 2, Rich Girl by Hall and Oates. It starts playing on top of my foot. It's a catchy song. I like it. Corey's now driving slowly. He's crying. He's sobbing to himself because he knows drunk dad, rich dad. He's fucked either way. All the other kids who received butt whipping or two in their time are reveling in the fact that it's going to get awkward real quick and it's going to get amazing. Amy pops out, she kisses her dad on the cheek while her stepdad, hey, what are you doing, stepdad? I wonder why she was like that. He gives him a kiss on his sweaty Ron Jeremy looking face. And daddy. I was like, oh yeah, someday I want to go with daddy. Yeah. And then I had daughters. And then, yeah, Corey looks at her like over his shoulder, and she's just like, she's mouthing her. She can't really see what she's saying. But she's like, fuck you. I'm not helping you or whatever. You can tell he's like, save me. And she's like, oh, fuck you. I got freedom and an allowance and 5 new cassette tapes. Yeah. She doesn't get involved. So we're all anticipating. If we had cell phones back then, we would have known. If we had beepers, they would beep. But what we had was we had our memories. We had our stories to tell when we got together up on White Cut at the tree fort. Some teenagers built who we heard had an orgy there, but now they've gone off to college and they're grown ups. And we'd go up and we would tell our stories about the night, the Taylor household. So the music is playing. Smoke coming out of the garage. You're whimpering for it. I'm sorry. And then you hear Dr. Taylor shut off 90X. You would think that you could turn it off to mask screams of terror that are about to emit from Corey's lips because he knows he's going to get a beat green light. And we're waiting for it. He turns off the radio, and now it's just quiet. You can't even hear the snails on that grass. It's just watching for it. So you hear Corey leave one more time. You know that he's going mad. Like, break the rules, you're in trouble. You break them again, now you're not defining me. You're telling me, fuck you. I work for a living. He knew what was happening. Happened a third time, he was assassin because there was no saving somebody as stupid as those goddamn kids for the Dr. Taylor. So we know that he's about to be killed because he's already got that strike one and two. And he at least has three strikes, right? He has chance. So he's got to go. So we're waiting. One last whimper. You hear him snap. And he leads with a question. You know, the 1980s rhetorical question sort of thing you would get from your folks sometimes when they're really fucking angry. And you hear Dr. Taylor, do you know that? You're like, oh, I wonder what's supposed to know. Do you know what? Corey! And he's silence. You're like, oh, Corey, I don't know if he's supposed to answer or not. But Dr. Taylor is asking him a question. I don't know the question. Do you know what? Why? Because we're going to find out. This is exciting. We're dealing. Do you know what? How many fucking times have I told you? You get home on the twilight yard. He's just laying in there. And you're just like, Corey's dead. It's not us. It's not us. And then you're listening for it. No, you don't hear it. No one's been struck yet. As far as you can tell. And then you don't hear any more crying or screaming. Usually there's a retreat at this point. So usually it's like, no, don't make me chase you. Which is classic, like 1983 parenting. You know? Like if you flinched because they came at you heavy-handed, then they threw their back out. You're going to get an extra beating, right? It was like you got to stand there and take. Listen, as kids, we played two for flinching. It's like I'm gonna feign a kick to your fucking face, and if you flinch, then we call you names like fag, retard, stuff like that. You know, guys, it's a quote. This is for the non-woke era, 1983. Or if you were in Santee, we called you Ted. Ted, two for flinching, and then we punch you twice because you flinched. Like this was fun, guys. We did this on purpose. Two for flinching. And then if you didn't wipe it off though, the other person can then get to punch you 3 times. Yes, you better wipe off that punch attack you did. Well, I don't know what the fuck that who made that up. The two for flinching is coming up. And someone's like, you know what, we need to sweeten the deal. There's gonna be a wiping rule. You don't wipe off your punches, then the other person gets to punch you for punching them without the wiping. Fucking stupid. No, genius, guys. It was genius. Everyone's playing the Squid Game today. Yeah. Who cares? Squid Game. You're making some toy manufacturing in Korea $1 billion fucking dollars a day off the Squid Game. I'm just mad because I should have made an app, I guess. So we're waiting. No spill. No silence. Radio's out. His dad's going at him. His stepdad yelling. And then silence. And then that was it. You know what? How many fucking times do I have to tell you? Da 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 da. The next up, da 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 da. Like that one went up like fever pitch, you know. It was like a pretty good crescendo. You expected to hear a scream right around there, you know, maybe a grunt, you know, a sound of impact. We were waiting for it, you know, and it's nothing. We're like, huh? You know, we had any sort of communication other than asking our mom if we could use the phone. For what? Who are you calling? You don't have any friends. No one likes you. Go to your room. Uh, 83. You're 9 years old. What do you need to call somebody for? I don't know. Because I have a friend. His name is Daniel. My other friend's name is Jeff. And you don't know he's just stupid. We're not dorks. They're dorks. So, silence. We're waiting. Nothing. I wanted like army color there on my elbows. But, you know, it's like 6:15 at this point. It's dark out. Time to go take my bath. So we just kind of, I'm assuming my friends feel the same way. Bill, Joey, Jay, Ryan, Cubby, and Ed, Vicky, Chuck, you know, all the rascals. But I figured we could figure it out at 7:15 next morning, when we're going to walk to school together, see who can pop that dead cat that's been filling up the gas on the side of the road. I was hoping it would not be me. I did not want to pop a dead cat, but apparently they didn't really notice, according to Ryan. Oh, well, my mom would have said, growing up, that there would have been an assumption that he would have wanted in prison. I think he's in Michigan, and not in prison. So, Mom, I think you're wrong. We're actually still buddies. So, anyway, um, next morning, you know, we go to bed at 8, you know, because that's when we went to bed at 8:03. You didn't get up. You didn't get up for water. You didn't get up to eat, because otherwise you're going to get some heavy hands. Because I don't know, there was no three strikes in my house. A lot of a lot of households didn't have three strikes. They had one strike. I'll strike you. Then yeah, you didn't risk it. So don't get up. Don't come out. Not tolerating your shit. You are interrupting Entertainment Tonight or PM Magazine. You remember that? That was like the 7 to 7:30 show. Or that's incredible. Good shows. Good shows. Just because the TV had been on since, you know, 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. news, 11 a.m. All My Children, None of the Rest is General Hospital. Off for an hour, back on. Oprah, news, back on for dinner, back on. Entertainment Tonight, PM Magazine, Dallas. You know, we were allowed to watch 2 hours of cartoons a weekend. But, you know, apparently the Queen had mean house rules, which is I do what I want because I'm in charge. And we were like, huh, not fair. She was like, yeah, have your own kids. It's how it goes. And she was right. It's like the best way to win an argument. Why? Because I said so. That's why. Why? If you ask me one more time, I'm going to fuck you up. Why? Then you fuck them up. And they stop. It's amazing what happens when you follow through. So the next morning, 7:15, we're all this little frosty out, even though it was warm the day before because that cat was about to burst. And we all line up on the corner, and we're kind of waiting to see if Lori and Larry are going to come out. I'm waiting for Amy. She owes me some second love. And my little 9-year-old was split or like long. I didn't even know what that meant, so no idea. So we're waiting. We're going to find out what happened. You know, like what happened with the beating, and nobody comes out. You know, Like, hey, go knock on the door. They're like, nah, F those guys. I'm like, yeah, I want to find out though. Like, let's find out from his brother. Let's find out if he caught a beating. What happened? Like, how bad was it? Like, were you listening for it? Like, yeah. I was closer than you. I mean, did you see anything? Like, no. We're just gossiping. Like, well, I don't know. I bet the reason we didn't hear anything is because Dr. Taylor got so mad that he probably grabbed him by the throat and shook him. Yeah, because I've seen him do stuff like that. Yeah, I saw him kick a cat. He kicked the cat because he was mad because the cat got pregnant. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's evil. Like, we're all just making up shit. I didn't see him kick the cat. I just wanted to see more evil. So, no luck. They don't come out. So we go to school, home. It was gross. It smelled bad. So we got back to the neighborhood on time and catch the last 12 minutes of general hospital or not. I chose not. So we're all standing around and we're waiting. No one what happened, Corey and Dr. Taylor. Um, and well, his older brother comes out of the house. We're all standing in front of the house. And we're like, hey, what, can Corey and Larry come play? And I was like, can Amy come play me? And he looked very serious. He looked like he'd been crying. And we got nervous. We looked at each other. Uh, one of the older kids wasn't Craig Clergy, but I don't remember his name. He was closer to the other's age, so he went up by the door. You see them talking, like you see I don't know, they're making gestures, like surprise, like I don't know. It's hard to explain, but you can tell bad, something bad happens. And then we got silent. We didn't have any more shit talking to do because now it looked like something was wrong. And so the other guy comes back over, like, what happened? What happened to Corey and Dr. Taylor? Did he kill him? And then another buddy went home saying, it was like, yeah, I think he murdered Corey and serves him right. He goes to prison. And get kind of mean. The guy's like, hey, shut the fuck up. Stop. I'm like, well, what happened? And he said, Corey went to the hospital because he got in trouble. And his Dr. Taylor was really, really upset. And he had a massive heart attack. And fucking died. And when he had a heart attack, he was leaning in on him. And he fell forward and crushed on the cement floor in the garage. And they weren't sure if Corey was going to make it. We were like fucking horrified. Like, we thought it was a joke. Nobody wanted to laugh. Just like, what? Yeah, Dr. Taylor, he died. He was really upset. And died. He had a heart attack. He was trying to Corey. He tried to swallow. Huh. What do you do with that information? You're 9 years old. Like, uh, wow. And one of the buddies was, well, it sucks for Corey. Serves him right. So bad. Should have paid attention to the street lights. It's not that hard. And somebody else pops up. Dr. Taylor's a tech. I remember everyone kind of laughed kind of half-heartedly because we weren't sure how to process this information. And there was nobody to, there's nobody to explain it. I don't know why in 1983 you didn't even hardly tell your parents what was going on in the neighborhood. But they didn't hear about it from the swingers party that they attended. What are you going to do? So, yeah, it took a little while, maybe half an hour. We didn't really know what to say. We didn't say prayers or anything. We didn't have grief counselors. There was no words of wisdom. We just kind of felt like we were missing somebody in our group. We weren't sure if he was coming back. We could only picture in our head what had happened, and then we could only picture Dr. Taylor being dead. And then if Corey survives this, then is he ever going to be okay? I mean, his stepdad died on top of him. He died because of it. That's what we thought. We just assumed he killed his own stepdad because he didn't come home on time. So, flash forward a couple weeks later, Corey's home. He's recovering. The house is really quiet now. You sort of see a bustle of activity going on over there. The older brother's selling weed. Amy's selling her wares, collecting cassette tapes. The boys, close in age, not twins, causing problems. But now moving then is instead, and they're packing up their stuff. You're thinking, where do they go now? It's 5 kids with a stepdad who was obviously evil when you're 9 years old. Who's obviously an evil man. He hated children. Because why else would he yell all the time, be angry all the time? They wound up moving away, and we whispered about it for a while, and it became folklore for a while, and it just kind of faded from our memories until I don't know, tonight when I started thinking about my life, and I started thinking about opportunities that I have, and thinking about relationships that are possible. And I came out of my family as a broken-hearted dad who was unceremoniously asked to work goings on and to pay an exorbitant amount of rent, 57 hours a week with his kids, because it was their prerogative to do so. It's how the legal system works. And then she moved to Newton rather quickly. Turned out to be a good dude. He's not the reason why we got divorced. We got divorced because we stopped communicating. We stopped listening. And we withheld affection. And we withheld from each other because we didn't know how to be mature and own our own shit. And just say, I'm sad. I need you to listen to me. We did the passive aggressive bullshit. We both tried to wait each other out. We both lost. We live and learn. She moves in this guy. He turned out to be a good guy. And I hated him at first. But then flash forward, 4.5, 5 years later, they're riding a dune buggy up in the mountains at their vacation cabin that they have together. That I felt resentment at first. I was like, my alimony and child support, her job and his job means they can avoid things I can't. I pay a lot of money for 57 hours a week and no financial wherewithal to do any of the things I dreamed of doing. And I had this epiphany. And as I engaged in a relationship with someone with 3 kids of her own, And I remember she was like, you're really good with your kids. So I never had a concern if you'd be good with mine. You're really pretty remarkable. I said, well, yeah, thanks. I, I'm a dad. It's what I do. Like, I'm not going to be like, I'm not a piece of shit. I had this moment. I'm thinking about what I feel like I lost time with my kids. I did. It sucks. It happens. But that's what divorce does. It, as Jordan Peterson said, you liken it to having non-fatal cancer. It'll destroy your life. It'll destroy your relationship with your kids. It'll make one or both poor. And if one of you is the primary breadwinner, you'll be the indentured servant for the rest of your life. And probably take 10 or 15 years out of your life to find out any resolution of whatever happened in the first place. Feels like it's awful. He's not wrong. As I'm making this transition, or emotionally even, and I'm told I'm a good guy and I've got great instincts, and kids like me, and I'm a natural. And it's like, are you sure you want to get into something like this? I didn't fucking mind. Like, really? You sure you want this? You got 4, I got 3. You say you have more kids? Are you fucking crazy? People would have 9 kids. I was like, I would. I'd fucking have 9 kids in a second. Aside from making you come, I would have to say that kids are my favorite fucking thing in the world. My kids are my favorite thing ever. They're they're not an accomplishment. They're not an accomplishment. They're an extension of, of me and their mom, and my values, and I fucking love them. I adore them. I enjoy the messiness of it all. I enjoy the heartache of it all. I fucking love it. I just love it. Kids are the best. They're amazing. She's like, wow, you would make an incredible stepdad and dad to 9 kids with you. And I thought in my head, oh shit, Dr. Taylor. Oh, what fucking guy would marry a woman with 5 kids when he didn't even have one of his own? That's not somebody who hates kids. Because I know as a 47-year-old man, no pussy's worth that many kids, especially if you don't like them. That's just a fact. What comes with kids is obligation and time, and resources and anxiety, stress. Like, if you don't want to have kids, you don't want to make an impact with kids, you cannot possibly be desperate enough to get laid that you're going to go shoplift that punani. I'm just saying. Moms and single moms are not low hanging fruit, guys. They are not low hanging fruit. You literally have to overcome obstacles called child one, two, three, etc. You got to get everyone to fall in love with you. You get vetted like a motherfucker. Vetted. Well, I mean, if you do it right. If you move into my ex-wife's house after 2 weeks, you don't ask any questions, don't ask your opinion. Then you just have to continue years later. But they're good now. Do it right. If you're gonna get into somebody else's family, slow your motherfucking roll. Do it right. Take your time. Do not jump in the middle of somebody's destruction if that's where it is. Don't be a part of it for God's sake ever. But you can be a positive resource and positive influence in a family's life if you love a person and you want to love your kids too. But I had that moment. I thought, holy shit, Dr. Taylor, he was a dentist. He was probably younger than me. They just looked fucking old back then. A lot of grease, a lot of fried food, a lot of cigarettes. He was a dentist. Highest suicide rate of any occupation. Next is like psychiatrist. That's wild, right? I'm thinking the reason you would have the highest suicide rate, too, I mean, maybe that's part of it, but I mean, if you're going to have the highest suicide rate, you probably have the highest stress rate because you don't kill yourself because you're not unhappy. So my brain starts correlating these things. I'm like, this dude was trying to make ends meet. He was trying to make ends meet. The kids all had his last name, including the teenagers. What does that tell you? It tells you that this guy was probably finishing his degree as a DDS, and he comes, he's got this, falls in love with his dental assistant, who's widowed with a bunch of kids. Oh my God. He falls in love with her. They work together for a few years. She needs help. He wants to help. They fall in love. He fucking loves the kids. He's got three little kids, too, like Rugrats. He falls in love with his family, and it's not even his kids. And they all take his name. Then they move to the suburbs, and they're the Taylors. And he's stressed. He's got a hard job, but you know what? He's not giving up. Who knows what he had before? Maybe he was married. Maybe she divorced him. Maybe he couldn't have kids. She left him. They reconciled the differences. Maybe his heart was broken. Maybe he found this ready-made family to lead him. Maybe he thought, this is it. It's an American dream. I'm a dad. I got it all. And who knows, right? Who knows? The gossip that we tell the little kids, and the folklore, and the besmirching of their name is awful. We don't know. We're just kids. We're just happy that we didn't get beat that day. We didn't want the tyrant to die necessarily, but he was mean. So 42 years later, how old I am, 38 years later, I'm thinking, man, I love those kids. Somebody loves my kids. Kids got a lot of love. They all got a lot of love. And my kids step parent ish. Still paying alimony, they didn't think they'd get married. Um, fucking scam artists. Scam artists. If I can say that. Okay. But he's divorced twice. He's got two kids. He knows what it's like. If he didn't love my kids, he would not be there. Because trust me, no punani is worth it. I'm not giving her a grade or anything, but when you're married and your kids, it's barely worth it. So if you're not, there's got to be a whole lot tying you down to that family. I respect him for that, right? And I think like how I would feel to be part of somebody's family, be a part of her family. And all I felt was honor. It's the idea of an honor, fucking honor. And it's an honor. It's, that's all you can see it as. So, Dr. Taylor, I, I get it now. He lived for those kids, and he died for those kids. And it's a sad, sad story. It's a happy one too. cautionary tale, and it's also one of love. So, what are you gonna do? All I can think of is love yourself, love one another. Rarely do members of the same family grow up under one roof. Remember that. You find family in the damnedest of places. Just love them. All right, guys. Have a good night.